Hello, everybody. So, I decided to record a vlog today. Um, I kind of have two intentions with this vlog. One is, um, because when I first logged onto YouTube, um, I saw a lot of videos about Charlie Kirk and his death, possibly. I mean, as far as I'm aware, the only person who said he's dead is um, Trump. So I don't think it's even officially come out that he's deceased. But I did hear what happened. I haven't watched the actual video, and I might not because I don't necessarily want to expose myself to that. But I did want to say something, and I feel like I have to apologize because I know a few videos ago, a few vlogs ago, I recommended Hawk podcast and Tom Powell Jr. and all that, and like they're still great. I still watch them, but I was a little disappointed with with a couple of their videos because, well, and especially Hawk, because although Tom kind of did too, like Hawk does a lot of react type videos. Like he'll post other people's TikToks or YouTube shorts or whatever on and kind of react to them as like, as kind of a see this is stupid or whatever. But there was this one guy who who Hawk was showing his video, and this guy was like a sniper, had had a career as a sniper for something, and he was just like, I mean, this guy was just chewing everybody out for even daring to celebrate that Charlie Kirk was dead. And it's like, I mean, yes, it is bad that he got killed, you know, but again, I find it kind of ironic that a man who continuously said, oh, it's okay for people to be, you know, like apparently he's quoted as saying some deaths are necessary in order to have the freedom to be able to carry guns. And it's like, I just find it kind of ironic that the man who said that was taken out by somebody shooting a gun. Actually, I don't know if I should change that or cover that up. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what YouTube thinks of it. Um, this might be suppressed. I have no idea, to be honest with you. But like, I'm not gonna call it a pew pew or anything like that, or try to dress it up, because he was shot, and he was noted as saying you know, I think, that he thought some gun deaths were unavoidable or necessary. And it's like, no. It's like, I'm a full believer in gun control. I'm a firm believer in that if you need to have a gun for your job, or or you legitimately feel like you are. And I don't know. I don't know people's stories. I don't know people's backgrounds. I don't pretend to know people's background. You, you may be and I'm saying you in the general sense, by the way, you may need to get that protection. You may have somebody who is stalking you, or somebody who has threatened your life, so you need to have that protection. I'm fully willing to, admit that. But you go through the proper channels in order to do that. So it just bothered me. And I watched a couple other videos like that too. Like Tom Powell Jr. had a video like that where he was like, the man got shot in front of his family. Why can't, and it's like, yeah, he did. But, it's like I said before, is anyone seeing the irony of the situation? And number two, I mean, Charlie Kirk has said some pretty hurtful things. Now, I don't normally listen to Charlie Kirk. I don't know the half of what he said. I just know like the one thing because it keeps getting brought up in videos, so I watch about it. And it's like, again. And also, I find it. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying one way or the other. I'm just saying it's very interesting because from what I heard, the video is that somebody has a certain set of skills, was able to take him out cleanly and easily, one shot, didn't need to shoot. Nobody else in the crowd was apparently in danger, which makes me think it was a professional hit, which makes my personal. I have two potential theories about it. Number one was someone did not like what he was saying, set it up all on their own, and took him out. Theory number two is that it was an assigned hit by somebody. And I'm not saying who. I'm just saying the timing of this is kind of interesting, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so it just kind of bothered me. It just kind of bothered me that this guy was like, how dare you celebrate his death? This man had a family. This man had a wife and a kid. And it's like, yeah, if his wife and kid were in that crowd and saw what happened, I would be traumatized, especially if I were, if the depends on what age his kid is, but his kid is gonna probably need therapy at some point if they're old enough to have recognized what was going on. Like, I don't know how old their kid is, how old Charlie's kid is, but and yeah, you know, that's wrong. But at the same time, it's like Charlie Kirk will no longer be able to hurt anyone. He will no longer be able to go after trans people. He will no longer be able to. Like, I watched another clip of Charlie Kirk apparently ranting on a podcast or something, where he was telling Taylor Swift to give up feminism now that she's engaged and to settle down and be a proper housewife and serve her man. And it's like, you obviously are not a Taylor Swift fan. And you obviously haven't listened to any of her music. Because, and I don't want to say that this is just fact, because hopefully Kelsey and Taylor will have a good, long-lasting relationship. But during the time where she was searching and kind of jumping from boy to boy to boy to guy, I don't think she'd have any issues writing a song about Kelsey Travis if something happens and they break up. So, you know what I mean? It's like, but like, here's my thing, and you can come at me if you want to. I'm sorry if this doesn't mesh with what you believe, but it's like, I mean, it's like, yeah. Should Charlie Kirk have been given an opportunity to get better? Absolutely. Like, I think that for all the people who are bad guys and who believe all this crazy, crappy stuff, should they be given the chance to reform? Absolutely. Will they take that chance to reform? That's what I'm not sure about, you know. And like I said, I can't determine if Charlie Kirk would have, if he would have gotten better over the years, if he would have mellowed out, if he would have been, you know, if he would have been less, you know. But the problem is, he was spewing hatred for years, and he was bound and determined that his beliefs were right and the only way to think, and you know. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying he didn't deserve a chance to improve or to change or to learn a different way. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is he can't hurt anybody ever again. And I'm just saying that if you, as a person, are celebrating, that's your prerogative. You do what will help you feel better, barring that it doesn't hurt anyone else and that you're not rubbing it. You know, the only if I can say on that, the only but I can say that is don't go after Charlie Kirk's family. You know, don't rub it in their faces. Ha ha, he's dead, you know, kind of thing. But if you feel like you need to celebrate, go for it. Celebrate. If you're not sure how to feel, believe me, I understand. Again, you know, this is very conflicting. Like, on the one hand, nobody deserves to be removed from this world by another person. Nobody deserves to be murdered or assassinated or whatever happened. Nobody deserves that. But on the other hand, like I said, he can't hurt anybody anymore. He can't. There's one less person to worry about going after people who are different from them, and therefore they're scared, or they're mad, or they're like, why isn't everybody like me? And that's the other thing that I don't understand. That's part of the reason why I'm glad I stepped away from being a Christian. And I have another little story to tell you guys, because I went into town today, walked down to, I had to go to the bank, I deposited some money, and then I decided to go to Tesco, which is kind of a grocery store. The one we have is a bit on the smaller side. Kind of reminds me of a Walgreens walking in, or a Fairway maybe. But yeah, you walk in, and it's really cool. They have this meal deal thing where you can get a packaged sandwich, and then you can get either a pack of crisps, which are potato chips, and or you can get a drink, like a soda. I got Mountain Dew because of course it did, and or some form of chocolate, some form of candy bar or whatever. So I went in there and got that. As I was leaving Lloyd's Bank, and I almost, because sometimes we'll have like food stands, they're down like side streets. There's like the main street the buses run on, but then the side streets are available for like walking and some car activity, but not a whole lot. And so as I was walking along trying to decide what to do first, because there were several options, I was like, ooh, do I go to the library? Do I want to go down to Boots? Because I wanted to check out a couple things and then all that. And as I'm walking, there was this guy who was standing right next to, there's a company called Yay Churros, and they have really good churros, and they dip them in chocolate and stuff. They're so good. But so I was debating going down there and getting a thing of churros, and all of a sudden Like, I hear this guy, and I look over, and he's standing right next to the churro stand, and he's like preaching at everybody. But like, two things with his, like, his presentation was so monotone. He was like, and Jesus died on the cross for you, and for you walking along right there, and and the Bible says, and it was just all very even tone and very monotone, and I was just like, dude, put a little pep in your presentation. You gotta get people excited and be like, don't you want to go to heaven? Kind of thing. And so he was just talking like that, and meanwhile, I'm thinking, I'm thinking about, because I'm a pagan, and I'm thinking about my gods and goddesses that I follow, and I'm like, and part of me started thinking, and epic fans among you will nice. I started thinking about that one part at the end of Love in Paradise where um, Odie washes up on Calypso's island and has to stay with her for, who knows, like years or whatever. And then, it ends with him at the edge of the cliff and he's just feeling like, I just want to dive off. I just want to. Because he's like, all I hear are screams. And it's like. And then he reaches out to the goddess who was his mentor for years. And he's like, Athena. And I'm just like thinking of the difference. And it's like, if you believe in the Christian God, if you believe in Jehovah, if you believe in Yahweh, that's fine. That's perfect. Do what floats your boat. Like I said, do what makes you happy. But the fact that this guy was like, and there were a couple other people with him from what I could see, and those people were like talking to people that came over. So I almost was like, what would happen if I got a microphone or a megaphone or something and stood opposite him and was like, come join paganism, the Greek gods, and it's like, but it kind of reminds me of this whole Charlie Kirk thing because it's like, because number one, you need to be passionate, or you should be passionate. That's how I got wrapped up in Christianity all those years ago because one of the first things I remember doing was joining my church choir. And that was when I was young, like really young and everything. And, and getting involved and being a part of a community and stuff. And it's like, and then there's this guy who says, Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. And it's like, get excited about it. It's like, if you really love Jesus, if you really, love being a Christian, tell people that. Get people excited about it. And so, that was my thing. So, but yeah, I basically walked past that. Another funny thing, because he was doing this right off of High Street, which is our main street, the street where all the buses run on. So every time a bus would roar by or try to or park, it's like, it kind of drowned them out. And so it kind of made me chuckle a little bit because it was like, but there were still people going over there to talk and stuff. And it's like, okay, if you need Christianity, and like there's one thing, like I remember hearing, I think I heard this online, couldn't tell you where, but it's like if you need to be a Christian, if you need the threat of a God punishing you for sinning against, if you need the threat of God to keep you from, like, unaliving people or, scamming people out of money or whatever, then, like I just said, and they don't even get me started on the whole, we're all sinners and we're all worthless beings and God, Also keep in mind, it says in the Bible that we are created in God's image. So God created us as people in His image. He's perfect. He's this perfect being. So why are we sinful and evil and utterly worthless until we come to have a relationship with God? Answer me that question. And there's a lot of stuff I'm still kind of working through because it gets in deep. Like the other day, or a few weeks ago, I used to listen to a lot of Michael W. Smith music. He's a Christian artist, puts on a lot of concerts. I've gone to a lot of those concerts, and his music can be really inspiring me. But, like, here's the funny thing. One of his songs is called Healing Rain, and even did a music video based on it. And the song is like, and one of the things about Michael W. Smith is some of his songs, at least in more recent years, are very repetitive. So he's got that song that talks about healing rain coming down, basically healing rain from heaven coming down and washing us and, making us worthy or whatever. But the chorus goes something like, healing rain is falling down. Healing rain is falling down. Healing rain is falling down. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. And, like, I used to love that song. I used to love a lot of Michael W. Smith songs. And, like, I used to have a bunch of his CDs back in the days of when CDs were a thing, And, like, I had a Walkman for years. I would just clip on and, listen, especially when I'm at work or whatever, before I when I worked in an office before I worked in retail. But yeah, so but what I find absolutely funny is that it rained earlier today, and then and so this morning I was kind of waiting for it to kind of calm down, and it did. The sun came out, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to the bank. I'm gonna do whatever it is I want to do, and then come back home. And so I did that, and so there's High Street, and then Queen Street meets it, like right here. And so you turn off onto Queen Street, and so I was. Oh, Vodafone. And so you turn off onto Queen Street, and it's the main road. That's like if you walk a little bit on your left, there's where you go into like Sainsbury's, where Keith goes usually to go grocery shopping or whatever. And oh, what's and then there's some little shops along the right hand side. And so I'm walking along, and as I'm getting closer to the building that we live in, getting closer to home, I see a bunch of dark clouds off in the sky. And I'm like, oh, rain's coming again, you know. And so I'm like making a little game for myself. I'm like, let's see if I make it in before the rain starts hitting. And so as you're walking along, you turn onto the road we're on is called New North Road. And so you turn off onto there, you go past, there's a building associated with the university. And so I'm walking along, I'm going, there's a lot of, you can definitely tell it's fall because there's a lot of university students out and about. But so I'm walking along, and all of a sudden, so I get up to, there's like a bus stop almost right in front of where we live. And so I'm like, so as I'm nearing the bus stop, which is just like almost less than a foot away from the entrance to the building, it starts sprinkling. And that song popped into my head, and I'm like, healing, healing rain is falling down. You know, but then instead of, praising the Christian God, I'm like, Demeter, let it rain. Poseidon, let it rain. It just made me feel lighthearted, made me feel like, like it's kind of funny when you hit that stride and you're like, I'm gonna make it in before it starts raining full force. And I had my umbrella with me, so it wasn't like I would be soaked to the skin, but at the same time, it's nice because then I don't have to juggle my purse, my umbrella, my walking stick, and everything else. So I just went up the little ramp and opened the door, and bop, bada boom, bada bing, and here I am. But I like it just means a lot to me that I'm not just, like, and I'm not saying anything bad against my parents in this one, but it's like, it's like I don't, like, I feel like I can be myself. Like, I feel like I can, and I'm not preaching to any of you guys. I just share my experience. And you guys can understand, you guys don't have to understand. But, as long as we accept each other and be like, it's okay to believe different things. It's okay to think different ways. Just be nice to each other. That's the main thing I wanted to say for my channel is as long as y'all are nice to each other and to me, we'll get along great. But yeah. So, but yeah, and now it's the sun shining again. And I'm like, because part of me is like, I have another load of laundry ready to go, and, might do that tomorrow. But, never know. But yeah, like, that's what I know. I've said this or similar things before, but feel free to hang out in my channel. Feel free to watch whatever you want to watch. Feel free to. I've heard other creators say this. Feel free to put me on in the background as background noise. As you craft or read or do your homework or whatever you gotta do. Feel free to just have me on as something going on in the background. Or fully watch. It's totally okay. This is you guys' space. I mean, this is also my space too, but I'm happy just posting and just figuring things out like I did with the video I recently uploaded about Chef RPG. And don't worry, I plan on fixing the sound and reducing the music gain volume. I wish there was a way to do that through like YouTube editor, like if you could reduce the sound. But I tried searching, I couldn't find anything. So again, sorry about that. Just if you watch that video, feel free to just pretend like I'm not even talking. Just ignore my voice because music is so good anyway. I really like the music in this game. And so, and, don't know if I'll post another video. I might try tomorrow depending on what the weather is like. If I don't go across the street tomorrow to do laundry, I might record and upload a video tomorrow. Again, I'm not really sure. But yeah, so keep your eyes open. If not, it should definitely be sometime the following week, like it should be on Monday or Tuesday or whatever. But, yeah, in the meantime, if I don't see you tomorrow, I will talk to you guys next week, and I am very much hoping, that we can continue on with Chef RPG. I did figure out why I was having trouble uploading the uploading the video of strange horror cultures. So Might try that game next. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, I always encourage you guys, leave me ideas for games, leave me anything you guys might want me to do or talk about or whatever. Um but yeah, if I don't see you tomorrow, have a great weekend. Um keep fighting, keep hanging on. I love you. You're all supported and valid. And yeah, I will talk to you guys later.